What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be another underused match. This will be the last upload using this team, at least for a little while, but this is against Steven from Twitter. And from the team preview, the first things I notice is that the Primarina is going to be a threat. I can't take a whole lot of hits from that thing, along with some stuff like the Crobat's just really speedy. He also has a Chandelure to take care of Scizor, and yeah, overall, pretty interesting matchup here. Let's go ahead and just jump into the battle. Alright, so I was kind of expecting him to lead off with his Lycanroc, basically just for Stealth Rock, but anyway, I'm going to throw out Seymour. As per usual with this team, I do like to lead off with Cobalion. He has the option to Volt Switch away if I don't like the matchup, as he actually ends up leading off with his Primarina. So I do want to conserve my Cobalion. This thing looks really useful this matchup, so I'm going to go ahead and Volt Switch out of here, get a little bit of super effective damage, and I decide to go into Muck, who is Assault Vested, and basically the best thing on my team that can take hits from Primarina here, as he's actually just going to bust the power out right away and go for the, what's this thing, aquatic, oceanic operetta is what that's what it is. So he goes for that. That's the sparkling aria move. This thing has pretty crazy animation here. This is actually a muted section of the battle, because I've heard that when this audio happens, it for some reason gets your video claimed by Nintendo, so I'm just gonna see what happens with me muting this. But yeah, basically he just throws a huge ass bubble at me and it explodes, and Muck takes about half from that, which is actually very nice. It didn't do a whole lot of damage. I was kind of expecting some more there, but that hurt quite a bit. The good thing, though, seeing that he went for the Z-Power there, is knowing that that thing isn't going to be choice specs for later on. So that's really good information to know here, as I'm just going to go for a Poison Jab on the incoming Lycanroc. I do, in fact, get the Poison, which is nice. Muck basically just spreads around AIDS like it's his damn job, so that's pretty cool, as he leaves him at about a little bit above half there, and I don't want to take an Earthquake. Muck is going to be nice to be able to take some more hits potentially from the Primarina later, so I decide to switch into my Scizor, as he's going to go for just some Stealth Rock, so that's fine by me. Scizor kind of does enjoy this matchup, because I believe a Bullet Punch does kill at this point, so I expect him to want to switch out here, and I'm going to go for the U-turn, as he actually ends up staying in, and he goes for the Accelerock, which is really going to do no damage to me, because I'm you know, a metal-ass bug, and I'm pretty bulky on the defense side, so I take that really nicely, and then that thing goes down to a U-turn. That is kind of unfortunate, because now I have to switch into something, and then he can kind of bring in a matchup accordingly, so I decided to go into Aerodactyl just because fast and stuff, as he is going to go into his Lantern. So I do have Earthquake on this thing, but after running damage calcs, it's looking like it has a chance to kill depending on what kind of set this thing's running. I decided to just go ahead and risk it. Gonna get all prehistoric on that ass yet again, and I do go for the Earthquake here, as this fish, you know, he doesn't really enjoy taking Earthquakes, but apparently this one, he doesn't mind it too much, as it lives it with red health, and that is going to allow him to finish me off with a Volt Switch. So that is going to take out Aerodactyl, and kind of the same situation here. He's going to have to switch into something, and then I can bring in a matchup. So he decides to bring in Darkwing, which is the Crobat, and I do have a couple things for this. I decided to go into Scizor here, just because I know that unless this thing carries Heat Wave, which most Crobats don't, a lot of them are obviously just physical attackers that can take pretty much anything. So he's just going to go for a U-turn. That just shows me he doesn't have a whole lot for me. And I decided to go for a Swords Dance here, but that was kind of forgetting that the Chandelure was a thing. So he's just going to bring right back in the Lantern here, as I just dance with some swords, get all nice and sharp if I wasn't sharp enough. You don't want to run with this thing. Running with scissors is bad. So yeah, I eat some leftovers, and then at this point I can just finish off the Lantern with a Bullet Punch. But as soon as I clicked Swords Dance, I was like, yep, I blew it. I set up too early. I really need to take care of that Chandelure before Scizor can go on a little rampage. So I do get rid of the electric fish, which is nice. And I'm over here eating some more leftovers, so I'm gaining some health back here, as he is just now going to switch into his Chandelure. I don't have any Stealth Rock up, which is a thing you'll notice. It would have been really nice, especially with the Chandelure switching in and stuff. But I can't be having my Scizor get roasted, so I decided to switch into my Starmie here, who can take a Flamethrower. As long as he didn't predict that and go for the Shadow Ball, it's fine, because now I outspeed, unless he's Choice Scarf, but I don't think he will be. So I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump here, as he's going to switch into Zelda. That's going to be the Serena here. Comes out sassy as hell, look at them hips, as I end up missing the Hydro Pump, which is annoying, but at this point, I'm just going to stay in and go for an Ice Beam. I know it's not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. It knocks it to about half, but I do want to be able to whittle this thing down as much as possible here, as he's going to go for a U-turn, and that is going to destroy Mr. Pat here, but it's not really that big of a deal, because Starmie wasn't looking all that useful here. So there's been a lot of pivot kills going on in this match, which is kind of interesting, because it brings in a lot of opportunities for switch-in. So he decides to go into the Crobat, and as I'm looking at my team, I figure Cobalion's a pretty good matchup here. If I can take a Brave Bird pretty nicely, and he's actually just going to go for a taunt. He doesn't want me setting up of any type of way, but I actually end up just going for the Volt Switch, pivoting yet again, get some super effective damage there, knock it down to almost half, and you know, I'll take it. So this is going to allow me to go into Crocodile. The reason being is because I know that I will be able to outspeed this thing, plus I'll get an Intimidate. So if he does stay in and I'm not able to knock it out in one hit, I should be able to take at least one attack. But he's going to end up switching out here, as I believe I go for the Stone Edge. Mrs. Primarina is going to come out, and I've been really lucky on my Stone Edge hits lately. It's kind of surprising, but at that point I realized, you know, I'm probably going to miss this next one, so I decided to save Crocodile for later. Scarf Crocodile is just way too useful, and here I just decided to switch into Scizor, as he's going to go for the Sparkling Aria. And since this is a bulky Scizor set, I was hoping I'd be able to live it, and I do with 16 HP, which is awesome. And at this point, I almost went for the Bullet Punch, but I figured that'd be way too easy. He does have a Chandelure in the back of his team, so I'm going to predict that thing to come out here, and I'm just going to end up going for the U-turn, as he does bring in the Chandelure, trying to get all spooky on me, but it's not happening today. I U-turn right the hell out of there, because fire types are just god-awful, especially when you're Scizor. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch into Play-Doh. Like I said earlier, I'm Assault Vested, and I'm Muck, so I'm naturally especially defensive as hell, so I'm hoping I'll be able to take at least one attack from this thing. Turns out to be Fire Blast, which is not what I wanted to see, but I'm able to live it with 13 HP, which is insane, and then I can fire off a knockoff in return, which will take care of the Chandelure. So he actually did end up being Choice Scarfed, which I guess didn't really matter because against my Starmie, he couldn't switch his moves earlier anyway, but kind of just good to know. So at this point, now he's going to bring back in the Serena. He goes for the Trop Kick, which will take care of Muck. And here's where things get a little bit scary. So this Serena really kind of destroys the rest of my team with high jump kicks. So what I've got to do at this point is I have to bring in Cobalion. I know that I outspeed, but after running damage calcs, I find out that a normal close combat actually has a chance to not kill this thing. So I have to hope that he's going to stay in, and I go for the Fight Neum Z, so I'm going to get all out pummeling on that ass here, as he does actually end up staying in, which is amazing because this Serena was super scary. But luckily, I was able to save the Z Crystal for this point in the match, and I'm just about to kick this thing's ass. Look at that. Oh, I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. So that is going to knock out the Zelda, and the Z move just came in absolutely clutch. And it's looking like at this point in the match, Cobalion shouldn't have too much of a problem finishing this off. So I'm just going to go into the Crobat, and I know this thing is going to be faster, but Brave Bird isn't going to have enough damage to knock me out, so he does go for that. I think it does about half to me, but I eat that up pretty nicely. And then I can finish this thing off with an Iron Head. I would not want to take an Iron Head from Cobalion. Look at those horns. He just headbutts you with those fucking crazy horns. That would not be fun. But yeah, down goes the Crobat. And at this point, his last Pokemon is going to be the Primarina, who also does not really enjoy, you know, taking an Iron Head to the face. So that is going to be the end of the battle. It really kind of came pretty close with that that Z move against the Serena. That thing could have destroyed me if he high jumped kicked me a couple times. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. As always, hit that like button on the video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for some more Wi-Fi battles. Peace out.